The first question. What are your views on dealing with Iran, nuclear arms, and the prospect of Israel making the first preemptive strike against Iran to protect its sovereignty and people? Would you support the USA aiding Israel against Iran? 2 minutes.
Aiding Israel against Iran. Aiding. That's his Mike.
Thank you for the question. Israel is our best friend. It's the only democracy in the region. It's the canary in the mine, but the canary has teeth. We got to let her use it. Not only do we have to let her use it, we have to support it. Word was just a couple days ago that they did get the SR-300 missile and air defense system. Now, you heard the debate back and forth that perhaps they didn't get it because we would have known about it before they announced it. Whatever the case, they're certainly upping the stakes. If that is put in place, it mitigates Israel's attempt to attack their nuclear capabilities. A nuclear arm is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. If you're going to have sanctions, let's make them meaningful. Let's cut off their gasoline. Let's make it painful. Otherwise, it's more rhetoric and empty promises. The SR-300 cannot be allowed in Iran, and if it is on its way, we have to take out their nuclear capabilities right now. We have to defend Israel because the war against, the whole ideology of war against Israel is also an ideological war against us. We have to understand that it's not the real estate. I wish it were. If it was, we'd just do another land swap and things would be fine. But the last time we had appeasement and security through appeasement, we had missiles coming over from the Gaza Strip into Israel. And that too is unacceptable. What we need to do is to disarm Palestine. What we need to do is have victory through, or peace through victory, not security through appeasement. That is where we stand with Israel. That's what we need to do as America. Thank you.
Ms. Milo, you have 1 minute rebuttal.
Are we answering?
Oh yeah, same question. You can say the same topic.
Same topic?
Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to say that, to me, Israel not only is our staunchest ally and the longest standing representative democracy in the region, but also we were founded on Judeo-Christian principles. We are inextricably tied as a people. So we must stand by our friends and our allies and our partners in faith. The people that would do harm to Israel would only do harm to Israel first, and 5 minutes later they would turn their weapons and their missiles on us. So I say as Americans, we must defend Israel, and what I would do is I would push, as our president, right now I would say we must have all options on the table, not say it's just sanctions or we're going to cut off fuel. All options must be on the table, including nuclear options to deal with the threat in Iran. That's how I would deal with that.
Ms. Arrington, 1 minute.
Yes, we can all agree that Israel is the beacon of democracy in the Middle East. They are not only our staunchest ally, but they are important to the peace process over there. We must continue to support them. And as you know, over in Israel, our rating amongst our support of them is extremely low. This president, as well as Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has faltered in their ability to stand united with Israel. They are important, and yes, the sanctions are not working, and we must continue with support of Great Britain and Germany to continue those sanctions against a country like that, like Iran, so they do not continue to develop the weapons. And absolutely, we will support Israel unequivocally if they decide a preemptive strike is in their best interest to protect the people of their nation. And God bless them on the Judeo-Christian values that this country was founded on, and give them the complete respect and the alliance that they deserve. Thank you.
This question will be for Donna Milo. The Israeli-Palestinian situation is of explosive importance. What would you suggest as a potential solution, and what do you consider your background or educational experience to qualify your opinion? Jerry from Cooper City.
Thank you for the question, Richard. I like to think back to one of the people I admire most in modern times in politics, and that was Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan had a saying that was peace through strength, and trust but verify. Because when we do what is very typical today in politics, and we've seen it in other administrations, when we give away our positions, when we give away our strength, without the ability to verify, we know that the people that wish to do us harm and to do our allies harm, they're not going to abide by treaties. So I believe that we have to do it from a position of strength. You never lost a game because you were over-prepared or over-practiced and you had all of the proper equipment. So I believe in a very strong defense and a very strong intelligence. We've seen over the years that our country has, and now the last couple of years, this administration has not been funding the military the way we have. They're funding the wars, but they're not funding the intelligence, the military, and the support of our allies where we truly need it. So the way you solve the problem with the Palestinians and Israel is through strength. Support Israel. They've been able to negotiate the problems the way they need to negotiate them, and as our ally, we need to support Israel in the way they do it, and we do it through strength. We don't threaten our allies. Thank you.
1 minute, Ms. Harrington.
In our attempt to always want to support Israel, we are a nation that cannot call what is happening by its real name. These are extremist Islamics. And until we can call them who they are, how are we to stand united to help another country in fighting them? We must continue to continue our alliance with Israel, but we cannot do that without the help of other nations as well. And I feel that the United States, with this leadership, has got to be stronger and stand by them. We are faced with our own terrorist threats here at home, and we must address them for what they are and stand united with Israel. And basically, Israel is important to us for several reasons, as we've already both discussed in the last question. So let's continue to support Israel. Thank you.
Mr. Lowry, 1 minute. First, we should really acknowledge Israel's restraint yesterday. And when the Lebanon shot and killed at least one, wounded another tree trimmer that was trimming the trees on the demilitarized zone there on that border. You have to also recognize that radical Islam is a theocracy, not a religion. And they're hiding behind a religion like cowards. We cannot allow Sharia law in this country. We should not allow Sharia law anywhere that we are. We also have to recognize that the flotilla, that the Turkish, the floating flotilla, was just a decoy to the land flotilla called the border of Egypt and Syria. We cannot allow Syria to arm themselves with Scud missiles and arming the Hezbollah pointing right at Israel. What we have to recognize is it's not just Iran. What we have to recognize, this is a global thing over in the Middle East. Therefore, we must pay careful attention. We can't send the wrong signal to the world by saying we're weaker in America. That's why our economy is so important. Because when America is weak, the world is a dangerous place. When America is strong, I'll let you finish the sentence.
That means you have 15 seconds, actually.
Really? The red made 15?
Yeah, the red is 15. Right? Oh, no, the red is gone. Okay, so making sure. The third and final question on foreign policy and the war on terror goes to Ms. Harrington. How do we handle homegrown terror?
Great question. And just real quick about the last question, I just felt a little repetitive in the same things we kept saying over in our support of Israel. But first thing we have to do is address our border situation. There are two separate situations we are dealing with. It is just not illegal immigration, but it's a national security of what's coming across our borders. So let's first address national security and homegrown terrorists. This year alone, we have had 13 different nations, over 200 people come across the Mexican border that weren't coming here for work. They weren't coming here to live off our system. They were coming here to set up terror cells. So until we can secure our borders, both at the south and the north, we are never going to be able to stop the potential of homegrown terrorists. We must be vigilant. We saw what happened at Fort Hood.